Well, that's what's great about this community here locally is that there's people like you that do so much good for the community because there's a lot of families that need this help. Greetings, Red Tie community. It's the bald guy in the red tie, John Butler, your favorite bald-headed, red tie wearing, red tie community show host, here with somebody very special that is doing a very special thing in the community. And you know I love community and I love special things, so I think this is going to be a great episode. I have Miss Lori Nelson. How are you?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I gave the teaser. So what is going on and what are you doing?
So twice a year, I put on a nonprofit event for the community. It started off really small, but slowly over the last 2 years, it's gotten bigger. What I do is a children's clothing exchange event. And to give you the cliff notes of it, I simply ask everybody to bring their children's old clothing organized by size and gender, and then give every person in this community an opportunity to get their children clothes for free.
That is a great idea. And when does this happen?
I was doing it in January and June every year,
Right.
but it got so big that I couldn't promise that I'd be able to keep it indoors anymore. So I
Right.
had to move it from winter and summer to fall and spring. So now we're going to be doing it in September and March every year.
Very cool. So this event is coming up in a couple weeks then.
Yeah, the next event is going to be September 7th. We're having it at Murrieta Mesa High School. It starts at 11:30 a.m. and goes until 3 p.m.
Nice. Okay, very cool. So basically, as families, our kids, they grow out of all their clothing, within a few weeks sometimes. And so a lot of these clothes aren't even hardly barely used a lot of the times, right?
Oh, yeah. We get a lot of donations that sometimes will even still have the tags on them.
Yeah.
And it's such an amazing blessing to
Yeah.
some families that, we have some families come in that just need that little leg up, and we have other families that come with nothing, and they just need so much help. And it's so amazing to be able to give back like that. And it's not just me giving back, but it's a tool for the whole community to just come together and give to each other.
That's powerful. And, when you come from a place of giving and this heart that you have of bringing people together and then blessing them kind of thing, I that ripple effect, we'll never truly see how far it reaches, but it's going to be pretty powerful.
At the end of each event, I do accept testimonies. And so people are emailing me their stories, and I try my best to put them out on social media so that the community is seeing just how much of an impact it truly makes. But after each event, and I'm reading stories of a mom who wasn't able to buy clothes for herself for the last 10 years because she was always spending all of her money on kids' clothes. And now she's finally going to go buy herself a new pair of pants. Little things like that. Or another family who had just moved across the country with nothing but the shirts on their back. And then they came to the event and they were able to stock up on clothes, blankets, bibs, socks, shoes, everything that they needed to get by. And people don't see how much of an impact it truly makes, but it really does.
That's incredible. That is, and when you talk about it, you have such joy that you express about it. So this is really coming from a pure place of just love and giving.
Yeah, this is me. Like, as much as I love being a mom, as much as I love working my business, my clothing exchange event that's my other baby. I love this. This is my hobby. Other people play video games, go to concerts. Like, this is what I do for fun.
You bring the community together, yeah.
It's amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
It's so wonderful. I love it so much.
So, I'm a story person, so I love stories. So how did this all begin? Like, what started that in your heart that you're like, hey, I'm going to do this? Because a lot of people get ideas and they just go, oh, that's a good idea, and then they don't do it. What made you act on it, and how did you get this idea, and where did that all come from?
Let's go back about 7 years ago. My friends and I started a mommy support group on Facebook.
Okay.
And it started off really small, but over the years, it slowly became the largest local mommy support group on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy now. I think there's over like 7,000 members
Wow.
online now. And over the years, we started off with like 6 of us, me and my friends. Over the years, each one slowly dropped, moved out of state, went to nursing school, didn't have time, all kinds of things. And eventually I found myself running this group all by myself. And I felt almost responsible for these moms. Like, this was my group my people, you know, and I needed to help them and protect them and do things for them as much as I possibly could. I felt like I needed to support them in every way possible. And so I saw these moms constantly needing help with clothes. I noticed it was a big issue in our community very quickly. A lot of the systems that we had in place didn't make sense to me. I was watching moms post on Murrieta Mommies. I need boys 4T clothes. I'm willing to trade my boys 3T clothes for 4T clothes. That didn't make any sense. Yeah. No one is going to make that trade. It didn't work. I also saw moms posting on social media, I need help with clothes. Can anyone help me? And they're asking for girls' 6 months clothes. And next thing you know, you have 20 women giving one person full wardrobes of clothing. Well, they don't need 20 wardrobes of clothing. A week later, another mom would say, I'm in need of girls' 6 months clothes. Guess what? There's nothing else to give. Because everybody gave to the one. Everybody gave to the one. And now that one, what do you think they're doing with all the clothes they received that they don't need?
It's all boxed up in bags or whatever, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of the time, and I'm going to go off topic a little bit here, but when you're given a blind bag of hand-me-down clothes, statistically, you will use less than 30% of it.
Really?
Because you're not getting to pick the clothes.
Yeah, because some of them might not be your style, and it's nothing snobbish about that. It just, everybody has their own groove and things like that, what they like to wear and, the fit of it or whatever. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So when you're giving blind bags of clothing to someone and most of it is going to end up not used or trashed, it felt like such a waste to me, especially when I saw a week later another mom in such need.
Yeah.
Because you don't know these moms' stories.
I like what you're doing with having everything set up at the high school. So is it outdoors or is it indoors or?
This time we're going to be having it indoors.
Okay.
Because we were able to get the high school gym as well as a secondary gym that the high school has and the lobby room, foyer room. Not sure what that's called.
This is a lot of territory. This is a big footprint.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And we'll also be having the space right outside of the gym. So we'll have the doors closed. So, I mean, it is going to be a very large section of the high school, which is why we're going to have it indoors this time. But that's why I wanted to keep it March and September because I don't know how much longer we'll fit inside of a gymnasium. We may need to move outdoors as well.
Yeah. On a football field or something crazy
exactly.
like that, huh?
It grows substantially every time I do this.
That's so cool.
We've almost doubled our numbers every time we put this event on.
Well, and so how's it organized? Is it like, okay, this side is all boy stuff, and then does it go like 1T, 2T, 3T, all the way up to
exactly
18-year-olds or something?
We do newborns through Children's XL. So we do all children's size clothing.
Okay. So like junior high and below or elementary and below?
Really depends on the size of the kid.
Right.
But once you get into small adult clothing, we don't do any adult sizes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So all kid sizes, which I think Children's XL technically is supposed to run up to 16. Just depends on the size of the kid.
Got it.
Yeah. And then we also have, other than newborn through Children's Extra Large, we also accept blankets, stuffed animals, books, and all accessories. So anything a child wears is considered an accessory. Hats, bibs, socks, shoes. We've even had people donate diapers. So amazing variety.
New diapers.
Yes, new diapers.
There's only a little bit of pee.
Right.
You can still go with number 2 in it.
Right.
So that's pretty incredible. So what do you find is the main vein of the things that people go for? Is it mostly the toddler stuff, or is it pretty spread out against the whole age spectrum?
We will always receive more infant and toddler clothing than larger kids' clothing. And so that's why it's really important for me to be growing this event because the last couple of times we did have such low numbers in the older kid clothing. And the reason for that is because infants and toddlers go through clothes so much faster.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all kids grow bigger. So everybody's constantly looking to go up a size.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, we will always have more infant clothes. Last event we had, the newborn pile of clothes was this big, where we actually didn't have anything in a boy's extra large. So as we continue to build this, I hope that I'll be having a huge variety of clothing in all sizes so that I can help all of the kids. That's just going to come as we continue to grow and build.
That's awesome. And then is it like a free-for-all? Like, is everybody standing behind the gate and like, they're pushing on the Mervyn's window, like, the old commercial, open, and then all of a sudden it just like Black Friday Walmart kind of scenario?
So that was kind of how it was last time, and it was really intense.
Elbows being thrown in the face or what?
We had the gate closed.
Okay.
And I was busy setting up. And then when I went around the corner to go open the gate, and I'm like, oh, there's a line. And I went around the corner and I looked, and the line just kept going. I couldn't see the end of the line.
Wow.
And I wanted to like make a speech like, hi, everybody, welcome. And instead I was just screaming at the top of my lungs because I didn't know if the end of the line would be able to hear me.
Yeah.
And it was really crazy. But we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time. And a whole nother topic, but why we're doing things differently this time is that the last time we had this event, I had a couple of issues of people just taking clothes, shoveling them into a bag, and then turning around and selling them. And for me, that hurt. I was angry. I actually made a live Facebook video, and you could see that I was just talking about it. I was mad when I realized that people
were they
had done
selling
this.
them at the event?
No, they were shoving them into a bag, took them out. They walked out with, 10 bags and boxes full of clothes, went on Facebook Marketplace, and then turned around and sold these clothes on Facebook Marketplace. And I was frustrated.
And you knew that it was them doing this?
I had suspicions because I saw people shoveling stuff into bags. And then I had other people, like I saw this person at the event, and now I see them selling large stocks of clothes 2 days after your event. I know that this was donated by so-and-so. Like, we really pieced the pieces together. It's not that hard when everything is so public.
Yeah.
And that was an issue. I'm not going to tell everybody, donate your clothes to this nonprofit organization, help the community, and then let somebody else turn around and sell their clothing. Like, if you wanted to sell your clothing, you would do it yourself and make your own profit, not give it to somebody else to sell.
Yeah.
So I had to rethink my entire system here. So what we did this time is we created a legal waiver that every participant has to sign that says you are here to pick up clothing only for your own child and for your own child's needs, and that you will not be turning around and selling anything. So I'll have everybody sign a legal waiver. They will receive a wristband once they sign their waiver and check into the welcome tables that we're going to have set up. Then at 11 o'clock, 11:30, we'll open the gates and let everybody come in.
Wow.
Now, I don't expect thrown elbows by any means, but it is always a rush in the very beginning. The first hour, an hour and a half is always the big crowd.
The prime pickings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting donations throughout the day. As people are coming, they're bringing their donations with them. So people think they're getting prime pickings in the very beginning, but really donations are coming and going throughout the entire day.
Okay. So it's pretty liquid almost. It's coming and going kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. People are bringing their donations with them. So it's always being replenished as the day goes on.
Okay. I'm thinking you could almost turn this into like an MMA fight kind of thing.
Right.
Like, all right, have two contenders and put a big pile in the middle of the field and then they just run towards each other. But
do you mind if I actually read a testimony?
Please do.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Let me pull it up right now. I'm going to pull this up. This is actually a testimony that I received a couple days after my last event.
Okay.
To kind of show you that it is not MMA.
Okay.
And that it really is just a loving event here.
That's awesome.
Okay, so this is something that I received from a participant at my last event. It says, "My family has been so lucky to be gifted with so many hand-me-downs over the years, but they are outgrown so quickly, or the kids just wear them out. So this event was a total delight. I found some excellent clothes and even shoes for my kids, but the real pleasure was seeing moms take home clothes I had brought that had survived my kids and knowing they had lived to see another day. It was really a surprise to be side by side looking through clothes with women who were so nice. There was no bickering over clothes, no fighting over who saw something first, just genuine helpfulness, camaraderie, joking, and even a little commiserating. It was an all-around enjoyable outing for me, and with the bonus that my wallet didn't have to hemorrhage for my kids to have some nice new-to-them things. Thank you so much for organizing this event. I send you an abundance of appreciation.
That's awesome. And that's one story of probably hundreds.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
They probably all felt the same way.
I received dozens of emails of people's stories about how the event helped them so much.
That is so cool. That is nice. Now, so do you guys wash the clothes, or is it? Are they expected to be washed?
I tell everybody to bring your clothes washed and organized. Okay. So that's the hope. Do I have any power over that? No. Okay. But of course, everyone that I've talked to after the event takes their clothes home and washes them.
I would think that's just a natural inclination to do that anyways.
Because they are donations. They're not brand new clothing, and you don't know, where they came from. So it is best practice to just wash the clothing that you receive.
That's awesome. God, what other questions do I have for you? Oh, so now is there any do they need to be in a certain income level, or what's the qualification for the people that are coming that need to receive this?
My event is open to everyone in the entire community, which is one of the things that I'm very prideful of. There are so many nonprofit organizations that do give out free clothes to the community. And a lot of them do have income caps, which is amazing for those that it help. But as we both know, there are so many people in this community who make decent money but still need help.
Yeah.
It's expensive to live here. It's expensive to raise children. And so my event is definitely non-judgmental. Everyone is welcome to come, no matter what your income is, no matter what your story is. Every single person is welcome. And you are welcome to come whether or not you have clothing to donate or not. So some people come and they just want to donate. They say, you know what, I've been there. I don't need help. I just want to come and bring these clothes to help others. Most people come and they donate and receive. So they're coming in with boxes and they're leaving with boxes or bags or however much they take. Other people come and they say, I have nothing. I just need help. And they are welcome to take as much as they need.
And do you receive these donations ahead of time, or is it the day of, everybody's it's coming and going?
On the day of the event is when most people would be bringing their donations. They should have them pre-organized by size and gender. So you'll see people walking in with 4 or 5 bags separately, so that you're having all of the sizes separated. I do pick up donations from people who can't attend my event. So for the months leading up to the event, I am driving around the city picking up donations, because there are so many people that say, I'm going to be out of town that weekend, but I really still want to donate and participate. So
is your garage full of just clothes?
Oh man, I had to get a storage unit. It's piled high. The weekend before the event, so August 31st, I have volunteers coming over, and we're just going to be going through everything and having it pre-organized. And it's probably going to take us all day. Wow. To go through all of this stuff. Another reason I'll pick up donations is because somebody might not be able to hold on to them. Yeah. Typically, I notice because they're moving. When people are moving from a house to an apartment, they can't store donations for the next couple of weeks, and that's fine. I'm willing to work with whoever I need to work with to make it the most successful event as much as I possibly can. I really do ask that the people who can hold their donations do bring it on the day of, because I don't get paid for it. I do it out of wanting to help the community. Yep. So as much as everybody can pitch in, it really makes it so much easier for everyone.
That's awesome. And what's it called? Do you have a name for it?
It's Miss Lori's Children's Clothing Exchange.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I actually went with Miss Lori because I was a preschool teacher, and I worked with children for 10 years, off and on for 10 years. And in that field, you call the teachers Miss. So I went with Miss Lori.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in this world before. I mean, as far as being with young families and children, so you probably kind of saw maybe some of that before you started this Facebook page, huh?
I didn't notice how much it was needed until I started the Facebook page, and until I became a mom myself. Right. When I became a mom, I needed hand-me-downs. I was like, give me all the hand-me-downs. So I witnessed firsthand, and I'll admit it, firsthand, I didn't use all the donations that were given to me. I picked through them and I like this outfit. I'm not ever going to use that outfit. And what happened to those clothes? They didn't get used. But I remember when my son was 9 months old and I didn't have any hand-me-downs, and I had to go buy a whole wardrobe.
Oh,
It
it's
was
a couple
awful.
$100 easily.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I spent like $400.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, my son fit in those clothes for 2 months.
Yeah.
I was honestly heartbroken, especially as a young mom who was struggling to make ends meet, and to buy clothes for my son to outgrow them in 2 months. It broke my heart, you
Right.
know. And I was like, I am never buying clothes new again. Mind you, I do buy some
Yeah.
occasional outfits, but I'm all about the hand-me-downs, and I think most parents are.
Yeah, I would say so. My own family structure, I have 3 boys, so it kind of works good. So whatever we buy the oldest child, it gets filtered down for the next, 6 years or whatever. And then after that, we have a friend that we usually, give the clothes to and stuff like that. But even with that, there's still such an overflow of clothing that we have. So I'm going to be talking to my wife about getting some bags together because I know their closets are just jam-packed with this stuff. You know what I mean? So it would be great to pass that along and be a part of the community.
People don't realize how strong clothing really is. It really can last generations.
Yeah.
We don't need to be buying new clothes for every generation. They're sturdy, and unless they're, torn up, they can absolutely be handed down to the next person.
Well, it would be interesting to see a study of a T-shirt, the life cycle of a T-shirt. Like you buy it new, and let's say it's for a 4-year-old child or whatever. He might wear it maybe a handful of times. So really, has it even been broken in yet? Probably not, right? So a lot of this stuff is probably gently used, I would imagine.
Yeah, makes sense. And I mean, we do get some clothes that are a little more worn, but you even get those families that are looking for play clothes because their kids do like to play in the dirt and they don't mind it being stained. So even, a lot of time you'll see a little bit of paint on a shirt and some parents will think that's trash. But to another family, that's exactly what they want and what they need and they're happy with.
Yeah. Yeah, because they want paint clothes or play clothes or whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's awesome. So it doesn't matter if you're low income, middle income, high income, everybody's welcome.
Everyone is welcome. Welcome
That's
to donate, receive, or both.
Very cool. And so they don't have to do a swap. They don't have to bring a donation or anything like that. They can purely come to receive.
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool.
And there's no limit to what they're allowed to take. The only rule that I have is only take what you need.
Okay.
So if you come in and you have plenty of T-shirts but you need pants, just take pants. If you need everything in a certain size, then take everything in that size. Just, you take what you're going to use. If you're not going to use it, don't take it. That's my only rule.
Take responsibly.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Well, very cool. Well, anything else you want to talk about with this wonderful event?
I actually would like to talk about the nonprofit organizations that I work with.
Okay, cool.
After each event that I put on, I donate all of the leftover clothes to a nonprofit organization. Okay. And I make sure to donate to a different nonprofit organization every single time so that we really spread the love and we're making sure to reach as much of our community as possible. The first time I did this event, and we had 60 attendees, I donated all of the leftover clothing to Project Touch. Project Touch is, have you heard of it?
Yep.
It's an organization based in Temecula to help homelessness.
Yeah.
The second time I did this event, I donated to 2 organizations. We did Birth Choice. Have you heard of Birth
Yep.
Choice? Yeah,
Yep.
Another great one. And a women's center based in wine country. And
awesome.
They take women who were in hostile or toxic environments and give them a safe place to be. The third time I did this, we actually had to move it out of the YMCA because it got so big. We went to E. Hill Curran Elementary School. And the deal with E. Hill Curran Elementary School was that they were going to let me use their campus as long as my donations went to their school. Now, their school had a lot of programs that they needed some help funding. So what we did was at the end of the event, we gave them all of our clothing and they turned it into a cash or a clothes for cash program. And it went straight into their school programs.
That's great.
It was amazing. It was a very different way that we did it this time. We didn't just donate the clothes, but we actually turned it into cash to help out the kids at that elementary school.
So it's like just layers of blessing.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
awesome.
cool, and just giving it differently every single time. This time, we are donating to Elroy Ministries, which is a local foster closet. And that was one I didn't think about. Foster families, they go through clothes faster than anyone else.
I bet.
Because every time they get a new kid, typically that kid comes with nothing. and they're always getting these cycles of kids. And as the kid leaves, they're taking all of those clothes with them, and then they get a new kid with nothing. So they're constantly having to supply new clothing, whole wardrobes of clothing to foster children.
Wow.
So this time we're donating to that. I'm really excited for this one.
This is, the more that you tell the story, it just keeps increasing in awesomeness.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool. Like, it's not just one thing. It literally just grows upon itself, and I could see why you're having a line down the beyond what you can see.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
When I talk about it, there's so much information to give because there are so many different paths to talk about it. There's how it works, the history, how I started it, how it benefits the community, why I do it, why it's better than donating to Goodwill or anything else. I mean, the amount of people that we reach is huge.
Yeah. And
there's no judgment. So I absolutely love what I do. It's amazing.
I think your timing might actually be really good here with September because, a lot of families did back to school shopping, right? Because I'm just thinking of my own household here. We bought all these new clothes, and so now we got to clear out the closets because they're just, bulging out, right? So we got to get rid of that stuff. And it's like, and we would typically do either a Goodwill thing or whatever, but this just has so much more of a purity to it. And I think that's what's going to be the big appeal.
I also love that as people do back to school shopping, some families don't get to do back to school shopping.
Right.
So sure, those kids didn't have outfits in that first couple weeks, but just give it a couple weeks after school, let everybody clear out the closets, like you said, and then you'll be able to stock up on clothes for them for the rest of the year.
That's awesome.
And I do this every 6 months. So I've had families, just be able to say, I just need to stock up for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I can come back in 6 months. So it's my hope is to create this rhythm and something that the community can depend on and say, I know in another 6 months that I can stock up my closet again because Lori's going to put this event on again.
Miss Lori.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, and another thing that I think is so powerful from this story that you're telling here is that this started with you as an idea because you saw a need. And how often do we as human beings see needs all the time? Because we're in a very needy world. There's a lot of people that are hurting, suffering, or just need just a little bit of help kind of thing, right? But we go, oh, well, someone else will take care of that, right? But you took it on and just jumped on it, and it's very quickly grown, and I think that is just so incredible. One person can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's exactly where I wanted to go with that. Murrieta Mesa High School is allowing me to have it at their school this time on the condition that I let their philanthropy class be the volunteers.
Wow.
So I will
free labor. Sorry, I'm a capitalist, so I think of it that way. But go ahead.
So next week, I'm actually going to Murrieta Mesa High School to teach the philanthropy class about my event and get them thinking outside the box on how they can help the community and also all of that goes into it. Because most people come to my event, they don't realize how much goes into it. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes to make it work.
The logistics of it, yeah.
Absolutely. But if there's one thing that I want these high school kids, these high school seniors to get out of this, is that you don't need to be extraordinary to do extraordinary things. You just need an idea, some determination, some patience, and some persistence. And really, you can change the world.
You are just full of goodisms. That is awesome.
Thank you.
That is incredible. Well, good job.
Thank you.
Well, any final thoughts or any calls to action that people should abide by as we...
The one thing that I would really hope that people can do to help me is to just share. Because the more participants we have in this event, the more it helps everyone, the more successful it is for everyone. I do all the hard work. I do all the setup. I make sure everything runs smoothly. All I need is to get the word out there because if we can get the whole community involved, we can help everyone.
That's incredible. It really does have that level of impact.
Yes, absolutely.
It really does. And so when should people bring the donations?
As much as possible, bring them on the day of.
On the day of.
Yes.
But so it starts at 11:30.
Yes.
So what time?
Most people will probably arrive at 11:30, but you can arrive anytime between 11:30 and we close at 3.
Okay.
So anytime during that time, you're welcome to come bring your donations. Just make sure that they're pre-organized.
Pre-organized, pre-washed preferably.
Yes.
And genderized, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
If that's a word. I don't know. Genderized.
I just always say
boy or girl,
organized by size and gender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, very cool. Well, Lori, I think you're doing incredible things. I think this event is going to be a big hit. I think it already is a big hit, but it's just going to keep multiplying every year that you're doing this. So you're an incredible human being.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you're part of this office, and you're out there doing something positive for other people, for the community. And what's not to love about that? So that's pretty incredible.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Well, thanks for being on this episode of the Red Tie Community Show. This is the Ball Guy in the Red Tie with Miss Lori Nelson with the, what was the name again?
Miss Lori's Children's Clothing Exchange.
That's awesome.
It's a long name.
It is a long name. I know the Miss Lori part.
Yes, that's
and the
easy.
clothing. And after that, I lost it. But it's going to be a great event. So everybody, if you're out in the Murrieta area, you got some clothes or you need some clothes, make sure you show up on September 7th at 11:30 to 3 o'clock. Bring something. Don't bring something. It doesn't matter what economic range that you're in. You know, if you have a need or if you can fulfill a need, make sure you make it happen. And that's it for this episode with the Ball Guy in the Red Tie and Lori Nelson saying see you on escrow. Bye-bye.